Welcome to Operation Healing Heroes. Join me today in Ashland, Wisconsin as we honor husband and wife Army veterans Tom and Mary Henke.
These are the faces of heroes. Many still bearing the invisible wounds of war, PTSD, and trauma.
I left Vietnam, but Vietnam never left me. That's how I'm living.
Why did I come back?
Why are they gone and I'm not? You know, what have I done to deserve to be here?
Our mission is listening and hearing, helping and healing for those who sacrificed and those who continue to sacrifice. The mission today and every day is Operation Healing Heroes. Brought to you by Great Clips. Ashland, Wisconsin, on the banks of Lake Superior, is home to U.S. Army and Vietnam War veterans Tom and Mary Henke.
You must be Tom and Mary.
Yes, we are.
Well, welcome. Thank you for going out and showing me how to fish today.
Well, you got to take us to the fish.
Well, I'll try also. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You guys ready to go do some fishing?
Sure.
All right, let's do
We're
this.
always ready for fishing.
The northern Wisconsin cold and wind would make for a tough bite on this day. And after a challenging morning on the water, the Hotel Shagwamigan provided a warm respite from the elements.
Tom and Mary, it's great to be back in Ashland, Wisconsin with you hardy Midwesterners. Being from the Chicagoland area, I love it up here, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's God's country, these northern woods of Wisconsin.
Up here in Ashland, Wisconsin, we love it because of its, I guess, remoteness.
Tom and Mary still live on 80 acres in a log cabin that Tom built from the trees on their land. And yes, they endure the snow that the long, cold winters in northern Wisconsin will bring.
We love it because of its natural beauty, the small town flavor. We can go to different places in town and we'll almost always find someone we know. The community, these are our friends and neighbors. We know a lot of them. You know, we'll walk into a store, say Walmart, and if we don't know, you know, at least a quarter of the people in there, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's a rare day.
We do a lot for our community, but to partner with an organization like Operation Healing Heroes, it goes beyond just sponsoring an episode. The episode is great for the veteran community to learn that there is help out there, knowing that it is nationwide going to be broadcasted, and someone else that may be on the fence of getting help or not, and they see an episode, like that means the world to us. Not only that we're supporting the people right here at home, but also nationwide.
So it's not very often that we get to interview a husband and wife who both served in Vietnam,
Right.
And I learned just recently that you guys are only 9 days apart in age
Yes.
to the same year,
Right.
which is amazing, right? So we don't get that very often. But tell me what made you want to go into the Army?
Well, my father was in the Army. I was one of 6 children, and I wanted to make my father proud of me. So I went into the service because my brothers were not able to serve.
How about you, Tom?
I was drafted. You know, I never thought about any other branch of service. And, well, I was working at Mercury Outboard Motors in Fond du Lac. You know, the workaday life was kind of drudgery. And then about that time, that's when I got my draft notice. And the draft notice actually does come from the President of the United States.
And do you remember receiving that, and what was that like for you and your parents?
I kind of knew it was going to be coming.
So during the Vietnam War, it was on the news every night, and the American people were very aware of the weight that was being put onto you. Did you feel that pressure?
I felt a lot because a lot of these guys were the same age as I was, and I was sending them to a war zone, so I had a lot of feelings about that.
Yeah, how do you deal with something like that?
Well, you have to do your job and make sure it's done properly. And if you did your job properly, you could pray for the troops and hope that they would come back.
Mary has talked about, that haunting her, the fact that some of these troops never came back. And I tell her she had no control over that. She was just doing what she had to do and preparing them, being sent overseas. That's what she was called to do, and she did it.
Operation Healing Heroes is brought to you by Great Clips, Enbridge, and by Northern Clearing.
Operation Healing Heroes is a nonprofit organization dedicated to documenting the lives of our U.S. military veterans. In addition, we also provide financial support and treatment for post-traumatic stress. Your donation will help heal our heroes. Were your parents proud of you when you enlisted into the military?
I think they were proud. My dad never really showed real much emotion.
No, huh?
But I know my mother was very proud of me to go into the service. So
let me ask you this. Why do you think your dad never talked about his time in service?
Because it wasn't easy.
Did you know as a kid that Dad struggled with PTS or anything like that, post-traumatic stress, or no?
I never really, we didn't know what that was back then.
Yeah.
But I never really noticed. I know that, he would have times when he would flare up and stuff like that. But I was amazed, what I hear about now, how they could even come back after what they'd all experienced and still lead a normal life. But my father was always good with us kids. We went camping, we did fishing.
Good.
We were always in the outdoors.
And I wonder if that was part of his healing process, right? Being in the outdoors, because we know that the outdoors has amazing healing powers. And that's why we do Operation Healing Heroes in the outdoors, right? Whether we go fishing or we go camping, whatever it might be, we got to keep everybody in the outdoors because the basement's not the answer. We know that, right?
Exactly.
So I wonder if that was all part of his healing process also. Which
you don't know, do you?
You don't know.
Mary enlisted at 19 years old so that one of the 6 children her parents had raised would have served their country. Most of all, Mary wanted to make her father proud.
My girlfriend and I, we enlisted together, and we went down to Milwaukee. That's where we went out of. We got on the plane. My girlfriend and I were both wearing high heels, and
Really?
So it was kind of, should we have done this or not? And when we got down to Chicago, the plane was kind of waiting for us to get on the plane. So when we got down to Atlanta, and then we had to board a little plane to get to Fort McClellan.
Is that where you did your boot camp?
Yeah, I did my boot camp and my AIT there, and so when we got off the plane, our luggage wasn't there. So a couple days later, they took us to the airport to check to see if our luggage had gotten there. And my girlfriend's, their luggage got there, but mine never arrived.
Wow.
But all of my memories, all the special things I packed, I didn't get anything. And my mother was a knitter, and she knitted me a beautiful sweater, and I was so proud that I was going to be able to wear that. They never got it. I had absolutely nothing when everybody was able to start putting everything in their foot lockers, and they had stickers in there where everything belonged, but I had nothing to put in there. So I was kind of sad, and so I was maybe a little teary-eyed. And our drill sergeant walked by. She grabs me and takes me into her office, thinking I was homesick and everything. And she says, "Are you homesick? Do you want to go home?" I said, "I'm not thinking about going home." She said, "Well, why are you crying?" I said, "Because I don't have anything to put in my foot locker."
Operation Healing Heroes is brought to you by Great Clips, Recon Boats, and by Suzuki Marine.
So the brochure said they were fishing this lake. You guys know anything about that?
Seagulls are watching you.
Are they?
Yeah.
They'll be laughing soon.
Make sure you do it right.
If you'd like to see more behind-the-scenes footage, follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you'd like to learn more and go deeper into the subject of healing, tune in to the all-new Operation Healing Heroes podcast, Feel the Heal. Hear from veterans, first responders, doctors, nonprofit leaders, and Gold Star families as they share powerful stories of hope, healing, and resiliency. Tune in and feel the heal.
Enbridge is committed to our partnership with Operation Healing Heroes. It's such a valuable service that they provide in respecting and honoring and supporting our veterans. We're happy to be a part of something that provides that respect for the heroes that made these sacrifices for the good of our country.
Do you remember when you got your papers and actually having to go down and go through the process that Mary was talking about?
Oh, yeah. I also went through the POR board. It was at Fort Rucker, Alabama. And there was 100 of us probably at least went into this room for testing. At the end of those tests, they called out names for additional testing, and mine was one of the names that was called. Found out later it was a test to see if you were qualified for officer candidate school. I think I was like 1 or 2 points short of qualifying for officer candidate school. But they offered me the opportunity for aircraft maintenance school. At the time I thought, well, I don't really know what the Army has for, aircraft, but I was soon to find out.
Mm-hmm. Are you happy you did that?
I guess just the fact knowing that, I'd probably be at an airfield somewhere instead of, walking around out in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
A little easier on my mind.
So did it turn out to be what you expected it to be?
Well, not really. I was going over to Vietnam as a helicopter repairman / crew chief. Crew chief is the one that, flew in the aircraft. So I had to have a flight physical before I could go over there. I remember very distinctly, one part of it was this medic drew your blood, and he looked me in the eye. He had come back from Vietnam. He looked me in the eye and he says, "You better take a good look at it, because pretty soon it's going to be splattered all over the inside of a helicopter." We landed at Benoit Air Base, and it was like 1 a.m. When we landed there was these other troops that were lined up, to go home. And, as young recruits, we didn't really know what was going on, but some of these guys were yelling at us, things like, run while you still can, so right there, it got us pretty scared, because we still didn't know what to expect.
The National Medal of Honor Museum is dedicated to safeguarding and celebrating the legacy of the Medal of Honor and its recipients. Learn more at mohmuseum.org.
If you'd like to personally thank a veteran that you've seen in one of our episodes, or nominate a veteran to be featured in a future episode, log on to our website, operationhealingheroes.org.
Operation Healing Heroes is brought to you by Battle-Born Batteries, St. Croix Rods, and by Thorn Brothers.
I was assigned to a unit. It was down in the Mekong Delta at an Army airfield. Sergeant there told me that I was going on to Vinh Long. He said they called it Rocket City. He said, because they were always getting hit with rockets there. So that's why I ended up in Vinh Long. I went into headquarters there. They asked me if I would consider working at headquarters. They said they had all kinds of people in my military occupational specialty, coming through. And they said, but they weren't on the strength of my test scores. They said I had really scored high. And so I decided that, I would try it. So I ended up working at squadron headquarters in administration, which was, pretty far removed from what I've been trained for. That decision that I made could have very well saved my life. It's hard to say. Part of my duties at headquarters was taking in casualty reports. They would be called in from the individual troops. Anytime we had a casualty, fatality, they had to, send a letter home to the next of kin. And I'd have to review those to make sure they were absolutely perfect, before they could go on. So that was kind of one of the harder parts of, what I did.
So I'm assuming that you probably had a large number of those reports that you had to send home, and how did that weigh on you?
I don't know that that's haunted me, later on in life. I think about those people. I try to, live in their stead, kind of live maybe what they would have done. I kind of made a promise when I came back that, if I did make it back, which I did, that I would try to make my corner of the world a little better place to be. And that's what kind of drives me every day.
I like that.
And Mary helps me with that all the time. As it turned out, I ended up staying in Vietnam for a total of 2.5 years because I kept requesting 6 months extensions. I did 3 of those, and then it was time for my time in service to be up. After my 2.5 years, I caught a plane out of Vietnam. We call them Freedom Birds, and I processed out in April of 1972. In our unit, the time they were over there, squadron size unit, we had taken 83 killed in action casualties and a far greater number of wounded in action. When I came back after my enlistment was up, you see these people going through everyday life, and it seems so mundane. And I'm thinking in my head, people, don't you realize there's American troops in Vietnam that are dying, and you're just going about your everyday life as if nothing's going on. So that part of it was hard for me to deal with.
In 1972, I was 24, and I met Tom at work. He was up on a ladder, and he was working above me. That was the first time that we ever set eyes on one another.
Was it love at first sight, or was it like a slow burn?
Slow burn.
I don't know if it was a slow burn. Maybe it was a little faster for me. I think the male reacts a little faster sometimes. I think that's just the male physiology. I am very proud of her because there's not a whole lot of women that could have taken the initiative, to do what she did. Especially at that time in our history. I'm sure she didn't know what the outcome would be. There was a possibility that they could have ordered her to go to Vietnam. But yeah, I don't tell her that I'm proud of her, although I am. There's a lot of things I fall short on, like telling her that I love her.
I was proud to go into the service, and if they would have needed me again, I would have gone back gladly. Tom and I have been married 46 years, and we still are doing our part.
We're still serving. One of the special things that we do is we serve on the honor guard for military funerals. I think that kind of grew out of us both being in the American Legion, me being the commander for the American Legion in Ashland and her being my adjutant, although I call her the agitator, fondly though. But yeah, serving in the honor guard is a very special thing.
Again, I want to just say thank you both for sharing your story with us and taking the time to do this with us. We certainly appreciate it. Even though we didn't catch many fish yesterday, we'd like to give you guys a little gift to say thank you.
my
So
gosh, thank
we've got
you.
custom rods for you. These are St. Croix rods that were built by Thorne Brothers, and this Tom is yours, and Mary, this one's yours. And it just says in appreciation of your sacrifice and service, and it has your name on there, and it's got all the branches of service along with our logo and the American flag.
You're gonna make me cry.
Make you cry. I don't want to make you cry.
Oh, that is
Thank
special.
you. It is special.
But I also want to make sure that you guys look official, so you have your own
Oh, no, we
Operation
got our
Healing
own.
Heroes jerseys with
Sounds
Mary Henke on the front. And Henke,
Gosh,
thank you
thank
so
you very
much. Tom, here's yours.
Okay.
Now you guys are gonna, even if we don't catch any fish, you're gonna look like you know what you're doing. Because that's what we did yesterday. We looked like we knew what we were doing. Can I give you guys a hug?
Oh, definitely you can.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you more than you know.
Well, thank you for taking it.
Hug me too.
I am. Thank you both so much. We
Thank
certainly
you.
appreciate
Yeah.
you. If you'd like to personally thank a veteran that you've seen in one of our episodes, or nominate a veteran to be featured in a future episode, log on to our website, operationhealingheroes.org, and click on the nominate button.